How goes it, everyone? Welcome back to Patterson Out Properties. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. Today's topic is going to be we're going to be talking about what's happening in today's world. Very relevant topic in regards to real estate, and basically, we're almost. I'm making this video on February 16th, 2021, and we are heading into March. Now, the subject matter is unpaid rents are piling up all over the United States of America, and they've been doing so since middle of last year. Okay, I'll go with middle of 2020. Okay, summertime, around July, August. We all know that with today's pandemic, not only around the United States of America, but around the entire world, since the official pandemic lockdowns have basically been in effect for a year now, because like I said, the lockdowns really started to happen in March, so we're almost in March. I'm just going to say it's been a year now. And yet and still, rent collections are piling up all over the United States of America. Now, this article that I came across the other day really went into how millions upon millions of renters have actually caught a break with the extension of the federal eviction moratorium through March 8th. Now, March 8th is around the corner. Okay, I have a funny feeling that it's going to be extended again because people are not out in the woods and whatnot. But hopefully, with the extension, you will see more rental relief to give to renters in order for them to pay their bills, or relief given to landlords so that they can pay their mortgage and whatnot. Because a lot of people are predicting that there's going to be an extension of the mortgage forbearance programs, which, I understand it, but is it the best thing for the United States of America? In my personal opinion, right now it is, because people can't work and they can't pay their bills, and so be it. But if people aren't paying rent, if people aren't paying mortgages, then how does real estate really work for a lot of people? I mean, I really can't put it any other way, and I'll just leave it at that. Like I said, we're not getting political. We're just talking facts and figures here. We don't do politics here. You vote for who you vote for. Whatever side you're on. Don't care. All right, now, but like I said, it's just my gut feeling that it's going to be extended. And the thing is, I think the moratorium is probably going to be extended for another month or two. You just never know. Now, when it comes to landlords across the country, it may appear as a nightmare, for the simple fact that a lot of landlords do not want to go into forbearance or remain in forbearance as well. Given the fact that rents, mortgages, adding in 10 months of severe economic distress and joblessness outside of the digital online economy, 2021 isn't looking too promising for most people. And when I say the digital economy, people are making a lot of money online, whether it's via stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, digital real estate, digital art. Everything's digital. So a lot of people the smarter people have spent a lot more time utilizing these lockdowns and learn how they can make money online and whatnot. So that's where we're at in 2021. The article stated that by extending the moratoriums further, it leaves landlords and property managers saddled with the financial burden of providing housing to America's 40 million renters without sufficient resources to do so, and they leave residents to accrue even more debt. And that is one thing to expand upon, family, because the bad debt principle is actually growing for most within the United States of America for the last 12 years, when you truly think about it, especially with student loan debts, medical debts, credit card debts especially, and now with the pandemic, rent debts and mortgage debts. And everybody, economists are predicting that there may be a student loan bubble, and that's why a lot of people are asking for a student loan forgiveness program once again to forgive up to $50,000, things of that nature. A lot of people are against this. Some people are for it. I'm for it because, to me, if people have more money, and I'm just being realistic about this, because I understand both sides of the argument, but if people have more money to spend and they're saddled with less debt, trust me, people are going to go shopping online, especially online, more. And that, in a sense, is good for the economy, because if the less spending power people have, no matter what side of the fence you reside on, if people can't spend money outside of buying food and some cheap clothing, then it's bad for the U.S. economy. It's bad for any economy, period. Let's just be realistic about it. And the plague of student loans, it might do that. Even though, hey, nobody forced this down people's throats. I get it. But, we're living in some interesting economic times, all right? And the ones the people who are in position to have little to no bad debt, especially not having student loan debt. Heck, if people don't even have a mortgage, if people don't have a car payment, they're doing, and you have a decent salary or you're making a lot of decent money with your business, you're doing pretty freaking good, or just for your average worker and whatnot. If you're not saddled with student loan debt and car payments and things of that nature, and the only thing you have to really worry about as far as huge payments is your rent and mortgage, you're doing pretty good. Just my personal opinion. But I'll leave it at that. All right. Now, one thing to really look at is, given the fact that the bad debt principle is actually growing, because good debt is like, hey, you say if you have a car payment, right, but you make money off your car from delivering certain items or renting your car out, then that's a good debt. If you own a rental property, you're making money off that property, then that's a good debt. If you're you're a homeowner, it's considered a good debt because a lot of times you get certain money back from Uncle Sam for being a homeowner. So it's, if you have business debt, but you're making money off your business, that's considered a good debt. Look at it like that. Okay, now because we all remember that a lot of Americans haven't recovered from the 2007 economic meltdown, and the norm for most renters are living paycheck to paycheck, the federal eviction moratorium put in place by the Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention in September to stop the spread of the pandemic. I'm not going to say the word because I know channels get flagged for that. Prevents property owners from evicting renters for a non-payment of rent. The order temporarily prohibits new and previously filed evictions from occurring. It requires struggling tenants to provide a declaration to their landlords that they earn less than $100,000 a year, have experienced a significant loss of income, and have made their best effort to find rental assistance and pay the rent, because there actually are rental assistance programs out there. If you Google them, I'm sure you can find them. Possibly your county or city will be able to provide those resources for you. Or if you go to HUD's website, federal government website, they might be able to provide you with that assistance as well. Now, one thing that I really, really took away from this article that I read today, renters will still owe back rent once the moratorium is lifted. And in the meantime, landlords are stuck figuring out how to cover their monthly expenses. Now, when you really unwind on the fact that a lot of people, it's one thing with the forbearance program, because that's the thing. It's just like, hey, a lot of people took advantage. Like, I know people that took advantage of the forbearance program because they already have the money. So like, hey, I can go up, 8 to 9 months without me worrying about paying my mortgage. And in theory, it's not supposed to affect my credit. So why not, right? I'm able to just put that money into something and let it accrue. And then when it's time to pay the money back in full, obviously the smart ones, because if you're just putting in your savings, that's good. But, you have to pay it back, and, you're not earning anything in your savings account, even though it's nice to have savings. But I'm sure some people are actually putting it into another specific account that's going to accrue way more interest compared to just a regular savings bank account, and go from there. However, the same thing applies, and I did not realize that till today, that renters will have to pay back pay. And I just don't see that happening for most renters, because let's be realistic, most Americans have been living paycheck to paycheck for decades now. I'm just going to keep it real. And that's just been the norm, whether it's because of low paying jobs. Other instances is because of people with bad spending habits, debt upon debt upon debt, and bad debt, if it's student loans, if they have a lot of children. Not saying children are a bad thing. If they have medical issues, things happen, life happens. It's like a lot of people just love to spend and run up their credit card bills. These things happen, and not, so the fact that people will have to pay thousands of dollars in rent back, and for most people, their rent takes away most of their money from a monthly basis. So if they're not working now and they're only living off of unemployment and they can't even afford to pay the rent, I'm not seeing how that's going to work. But hey, there are people in higher places that are much smarter than me, and I'm sure that they are going to figure this whole thing out. It's going to be very interesting. I look at it. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. So, but I'm just putting the numbers together. And for people that can't barely scratch together $800 to $1,000 when they are working, and they've been months to a year without working, and and they're supposed to come up with all this money in full at a specific time. I'm wondering how that's going to work, but it's going to be interesting, because not only just rents, but in some instances, you got to put this into consideration. Water bills, electrical bills are being paid by landlords, or some people aren't even paying those bills either. Renters aren't paying those bills because, hey, I'm not working. So they're just, a lot of times unemployment is enough to maybe pay a bill or two and provide people with food, because cost of food has gone up tremendously as well. Like I said, once again, not political. I'm just stating the obvious of what's been happening for the last year. Now, it's interesting because when one really analyzes the situation, I don't think that's, sustainability of it is really possible. Like I was mentioning earlier, if people are going to have to pay, $12 to $13 to $8,000, most people don't even have $1,000 in their bank account nowadays. So I'm just saying, especially a lot of renters, so we'll see what happens. Meaning most people who make under $100,000 have been living, like I said, people have been living paycheck to paycheck for decades. Heck, six-figure earners that I know, and I'm from the DMV area, have been living paycheck to paycheck. So don't, especially, and that's one thing to take into consideration. I think that's one thing the pandemic has taught us all is to appreciate what we have, appreciate what where we're at and where we're trying to go, and appreciate the fact that owning an overpriced house and an overpriced car isn't really the most sustainable thing for working people anymore. Just saying. Now, I'll leave it at that. Appreciating the little things matters the most. You know what I mean? So, anyways, it's one of those it is what it is situations. Okay. So, and then when you analyze and look at maintenance issues that will come up in a property, that's just normal. Especially with this winter that's happening right now. Hey, definitely my heart goes out to the folks in Texas. I hope that you guys get power back on, and it's crazy that it's been a crazy winter in Texas. You know what I mean? But maintenance issues are going to arise eventually at the same time, and maintenance issues are usually very costly, especially if it's a heater that's gone out, a roof leak, especially, I'm just mentioning things that happen during the wintertime. Please, fixtures need to be replaced, it happens, a leak, a pipe leak, a pipe burst, new stove, new laundry, machine, washing machine, a dryer, these things happen, coincides with being a homeowner, being a landlord. You have to make sure these things are taken care of and whatnot, especially because you're not trying to be a slumlord, so these are things to take into consideration, but for the most part, it isn't really good time to be, for a lot of people to become a landlord right now. For some it may be, but for a lot it's not. And if this continues and more, smaller mom and pop landlords continue to run into the red of not making a profit, then there will be situations when landlords will not be able to afford to fix maintenance issues of homes. If more and more properties start to deteriorate because of the lack of finances, eventually if eventually something isn't done. My prediction is that there will be more stimulus placed into the U.S. economy. It definitely, needs to go to landlords, homeowners, and as well as renters in order to make everyone whole and everything whole again and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we will see what happens. And I think, I know everything is going to be all right for the most part, but this is just an economic a lesson for society, no matter what side, whether you're the tenant or the landlord and whatnot. Having reserves is your best friend as a landlord. Having reserves is your best friend as a tenant, because, even when if another pandemic does not arise, an economic downturn is always surely to happen, because no matter what the situation is, no matter what economy you live in, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. It's just the norm. Okay. So, the paycheck to paycheck mentality is over with for people in the United States of America. And I will say that again, the paycheck to paycheck mindset and being comfortable with living paycheck to paycheck is over with. So, if you can cut corners and cut costs and figure out ways to make money, especially when this economy opens up again, on the side, no matter how you do it, from a side hustle to a business or something to that effect, but you're doing it in order to save and invest more money and not just do it to buy more crap and try to look fancy, because those days are over with as well. I think people are becoming more and more humbler and more and more humble. And I think that is a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in making money outside of your current business or job or whatnot. We are in the digital age. Gold Standard Partners, G999 is a new Bitcoin that is out there. Gold Standard Partners is actually going to set to open officially by next month in March. And it's just another way for people to buy products with their Bitcoin, pay their rent, possibly, and mortgage with their Bitcoin. And if you refer others, because this is an affiliate marketing program, you're able to make certain sales commissions and whatnot, and Bitcoin commissions off of when people buy specific packages with this organization, and when people are buying Bitcoin with the organization via the organization all at the same time. All right. So do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. As I always say on my other channel, make money moves and live broke like a fool. We're living in a time frame where people know that they can't get fired if they own the company. It's 2021. It's time for you to own something. And remember, Patterson L Properties is a company that is all about helping tired landlords. That's why I made this video, helping tired landlords get rid of properties with our extensive list of investors. And, you know, we collect our little commission fee by wholesaling your properties and whatnot. And we purchase tax lien properties. Looking forward to more tax liens in 2021 to be able to buy and sell them as is and go from there. And the investors, hey, that's why you contact Patterson L Properties, because we'll be able to offload a tax lien property for you at a great, decent price. All right. So do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. See you guys later. And thank you guys for the subscriptions and the PayPal donations and the Cash App donations. It's always greatly appreciated. Have a great day.